Hey everyone, I'm Aaron with my identical twin brother Adam. I'm the fireman today, and he's the stopper. We're talking closers. We got some history being made recently here, so that's what we're talking about. You're in a baseball brouhaha, which means we got coffee coming at you and a daily baseball trivia fracas. We're going to get after it today. Sorry to report, folks, we have not seen any actual brouhahas happen on the baseball diamond. We'll keep you updated when that does happen. Adam, what do we got trivia today?
We have pitchers getting a lot of saves. Which retired pitcher with 400 or more saves has the fewest blown saves? And this is inspired by Kenley Jansen, who just reached his 400th save recently. And we're not including him on the list because it's likely he has the fewest because he hasn't finished his career yet. So we're honoring Kenley Jansen here. We'll come back to him in a little bit, but here are our choices. An all-star Hall of Fame crew here. What relief pitcher with 400 plus saves has the fewest blown saves? Trevor Hoffman, Mariano Rivera, Francisco Rodriguez, or Billy Wagner?
I felt like it had to be Rivera. I mean, the guy was unbelievable as a closer, and he was just always the best. I feel like there was never a season where you're like, the guy just slumped all the way through the end of his career. He was electric, and so I went Rivera here on this one.
I did too. This felt obvious to me, um, but I wonder about the early part of his career. Maybe as he was
Yeah,
establishing himself, I don't know, who knows? But he also pitched a very long time,
a
and he
lot of games. Yeah,
yeah.
a lot of games.
Well, let's see what we got here. The correct answer is Billy Wagner, who
Billy Wagner.
had only
Wow.
69 blown saves. Rivera, so Rodriguez and Hoffman had 76 each. They were second on the list, and then
Hmm.
Rivera had the most at 80. But Rivera had the best career save percentage. So
Yeah,
the large, enormous sample size played a factor here
sure did.
for sure. Let's go to the scoreboard. So, dominant pitchers we're talking about.
Yeah, we're getting the
Dominant.
stopper treatment in the mid innings here.
That's right. So, Aaron, you're holding on to that 1-0 lead
Yeah.
as we head to the later innings. Let's chat a little bit more about Kenley Jansen. Sneakily, one of the best ever. I would not have thought this about Kenley Jansen.
Yeah.
I remember he had some good runs with the Dodgers, but this guy is blowing up the spot.
Mm-hmm.
He's one of only seven players ever with 400 saves or more. And he may become the leader on the list of blown saves, fewest blown saves. He has only 53, 16 fewer than the next closest player.
Yeah, that's wild. Yeah, and it's funny. Adam and I were prepping for this, and lo and behold, a week ago, he blew a save against the Cardinals. So it happens to the best of them. So but he's third in save percentage in his career at 88.3, behind only Hoffman and Rivera. First in win percentage at 606. Only one of these guys over 600. Obviously, as you know, closers don't get a ton of wins, but often it comes because they blew a save and the team came back and won the game. He's the first in WHIP, hits per nine, and FIP. First in strikeouts per nine at 13, and second in allowing inherited runners to score. This is a big deal for relievers. You often get called on with people on base. You got to shut it down. 24%. Hoffman first at 20, only allowing 20% of inherited runners to score.
Well, and saves history is funky and recent, relatively recent. So
Mm-hmm.
the save statistic was created by journalist Jerome Holtzman in 1959 to quote to measure the effectiveness of relief pitchers, which in this was sort of the beginning of the time of free agency and trying to figure out how much are these guys worth. It was adopted as an official major league statistic in 1969. The current rule has been in effect since the beginning of the 75 season, and two earlier versions of the rule awarded saves a little bit differently. So in 69, when the rule started, a relief pitcher earned a save when he entered the game with his team in the lead and held the lead for the remainder of the game, provided he wasn't credited with the victory. A relief pitcher could not be credited with a save if he did not finish the game unless he was removed for a pinch hitter or a pinch runner. And as you can imagine, you get a pinch hitter, pinch runner in there. Now you got two guys who could qualify for a save. If that was the situation, then the official scorer would just, in his judgment or their judgment, decide who was the best.
Yeah. You get a little flip of the coin. So,
Yeah.
so before the 74 season, the save rule was modified and simplified. So more what we get now. So now a relief pitcher could earn a save under one of two conditions. One, he had to enter the game with either potential tying or winning run either on base or at the plate and preserve the lead. So this is why you have like a 3-run lead constitutes as a save opportunity, because you get 3 batters that can tie the game. He had to pitch at least 3 or more, or he had to pitch at least 3 or more. This was the thing that was quirky to me: effective innings and preserve the lead. And this will get somewhat relevant in story time here. But a pitcher could be credited with the save even if he had not finished the game, provided he had been removed either for a pinch hitter or a pinch runner. When more than one pitcher was in a position to qualify, the judge, the official scorer judged which guy did earn the save. It was possible under both earlier versions and of the save rule to see box scores in which pitchers were credited with saves in situations where they would not earn it under the current rule. So, for example, April 25th, 1970, Claude Raymond entered the game with a 4-run lead in the ninth, but was awarded a save anyway. For games played before 1969, saves have been figured retroactively using current definition. So nowadays, really, you're only going to see this at the end of the game.
Bummer for those guys who racked up some saves and had them taken away.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, let's get some relief. I'm feeling some heartburn today.
I should have got my Rolaids out for this one.
Yeah, well, the ultimate product placement here, the Rolaids Relief Award. So the best relief pitcher award was called the Rolaids Relief Man Award for a long time. And it was awarded to the top relief pitcher. It was first awarded in 1976. And then that name, the award continued, but the name was discontinued after the 2012 season, because then it became the Mariano Rivera Award for the AL and the Trevor Hoffman Award for the NL starting in 2014. And the history of that began with Bill Campbell and Raleigh Eastwick.
Yep. So the first winners of these awards were Bill Campbell, Minnesota in the AL, and Raleigh Eastwick with Cincinnati in the NL. 2 players won the award 5 times, which is the most. That's Dan Quisenberry. Love that name.
All-time great name.
All-time great. And Mariano Rivera. Raleigh Fingers did it 4 times. Was the first to win the award in both leagues for Milwaukee and San Diego. You may be confused because Milwaukee and San Diego are both in the National League right now. Milwaukee used to be an AL team some time ago. It's been a minute. Bill Campbell won the first 2 American League awards. In 1976, he won 17 games and had 20 saves. The following year, he won another 13 games and had 31 saves over 2 seasons, 51 saves and 30 wins. Just don't see that out of your closer these days, folks.
17 wins. That's like a Cy Young award
I
season
know.
for a starter. That's
He's like, yeah, he's like a Cy Young starter and a lockdown closer. What do you got, Shohei?
yeah. You start the game, you be a closer when you don't start, and then play the outfield. You know what time it is, folks? It's story time, and we're coming at you with one of the strangest saves I've ever seen.
Yes.
I watched part of this game on TV. The Rangers in 2007, August 22nd, Rangers beat the Orioles 30-3, one of the worst beatings of all time. Texas pitcher Wes Littleton, shall we say, earned a save? How did Wes Littleton accomplish such a difficult feat? The little used rules of finishing the game after pitching at least 3 innings. So he came on the starter through 6, and then he closed it out 7, 8, 9. He didn't give up any runs.
Yeah.
So apparently pitched effectively. If he would have given up like 11 runs and they still won 30-14, wouldn't he have gotten a save?
That's what I was thinking of that exact thing. I was like, because it's and pitched effectively is like, who determines that? Like, at what point do you determine he did not pitch effectively? Because in a 30-3 game, all you just throw it strikes enough, guys are going to get themselves out. They're not going to score 27 runs. I mean, obviously Texas did, but the odds are not high in that situation. So the story I was thinking about, speaking of bringing it back to Kenley Jansen, you and I don't know about you, but I've seen Kenley Jansen pitch live just one time, and that was last year, 2022. We've referenced this Mariners game that we went to. We just had most unbelievable finish I've ever seen, and Kenley Jansen. So the Mariners were leading all game. Braves came back in the 9th, scored 5 to go up 7-6. After the Mariners pitching staff blew some saves there, and Kenley Jansen comes in the bottom of the 9th to close things down, but not to be. Julio hit an absolute missile of a home run to left that capped the blown save there, made it 7-7, and then Eugenio Suarez got him 2 batters later with a home run to left center field that gave Kenley the loss. So added to his blown saves there. That was a very fun game, quite electric indeed in that game. So that's my Kenley Jansen memory.
Yeah, I remember that one too, and that I was certain we had lost.
Yeah,
because you bring Kenley Jansen in, it's like, ooh, here we
lockdown.
go. Yep. Yeah, we're locking down the show.
We're locking down. It's time to put the stopper in here to stop us from talking. So special thanks to StatHead, Baseball Reference, and the 3-0 Take for all the stats that we get to put together. If you have a burning question, drop in the comments below. Find us on Twitter at Baseball Brewhaha and tweet at us there. Like and subscribe. Turn on your alerts to get our faces right in your mug each day for some baseball trivia. Thanks, everybody, for joining us. We'll see you tomorrow.